We now proceed to Congresswoman Tsongas of Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I appreciate the seriousness of effort that you all are demonstrating, especially as we come to a very important election. For you, Ms. Mitchell, it seems in reading the materials, one of the really important issues was, as we have at the federal level enacted the MOVE Act and other efforts to make it easier for absentee voting, that there's much work that has to be done with the individual states in order to streamline their absentee voting requirements. I hear from Congressman Heck that Nevada is one that has done this very well. But I'm curious how you have worked with each of the states to resolve some of the issues that may, despite all your efforts, still make it more difficult than it should be.
Ma'am, we work with them on a regular basis to discuss the MOVE Act and to talk about the very things you just mentioned. One of the things that we talk to them about is, and you'll forgive me because I can never remember the acronyms just yet, but UMUVA, which is an effort, a law that would actually make across the states things much more consistent for service members. So, for example, I've talked to service members from Florida who reported that they had no difficulty in figuring out what to do. And you talk to service members from some other states that have reported that it's very complex and they really aren't quite sure what to do. So we think that if there could be more consistency across the states, that would be a very big deal in terms of helping service members.
And are there still states where it's very difficult, despite all the necessity of moving forward on this?
Ma'am, I can't speak to the details of which states that might be, but I would be happy to take that for the record.
That would be. I'd like to have that answer. And then the other question I have is that you have said that the various services report that they're meeting all the requirements, but how do you challenge that or test that, or is that something more you would have looked at, Ambassador Moorefield?
Well, as I indicated, thank you, Congresswoman. As I indicated in response to the last question, we would like to drill down more on that, quite frankly. I mean, it's not that we don't trust the information we're getting, but there's the old adage about verifying, and we'd like to figure out how to do that. And it may be in the world of the entire universe of units worldwide that have voting officers that we may need to do some statistical sampling, you know, that and we fortunately have the ability to do that within DODIG to come up with something that's give us a high degree of the confidence that we understand, you know, their real capabilities and the real extent of the performance of their duties and what the impact is actually having on military voters. If I could go back just for a second to what you were saying about the states. So one of the things that I've concluded recently in thinking about this and reading all the literature that's out there, and there's quite a bit on states' participation and the requirements under the MOVE Act. But the requirement to make enhanced use of electronic access to the opportunity to vote on the part of the states, including links to websites that would enable a military voter to download a absentee ballot, it seems to me is a really great idea in the world of today. And it cuts through an awful lot of the steps that otherwise might have to be followed by a military voter. And I think I'm pretty sure about this, but I'll ask Ms. Mitchell to confirm, but I think that the FAP website has links to those states that have that electronic capability.
We do actually have links to all the states and territories.
So it would be interesting to see if those that allow for the electronic means of accessing it, how comparing the data as to which are more successful and encourage absentee voting. Thank you, and I yield back.